station, JBC Broadcasting, management, or its sponsors.
You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark on Florida Man Radio.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You want answers? You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
And welcome to the program. It's another edition of You Have Power Radio. I am your host, Justin Clark, protecting you, the consumer, from the evils of corporate America. We bully the bullies. The phone lines are open. All you have to do is call 321-339-1055.
Is it recess time, teacher?
You can also stream the program at FloridaManRadio.com. Shannon Burke actually told me he was charging me $160 a year to borrow his bell. And
Rightfully
I was like,
so.
That's it's kind of a bargain, really, if you think about it. $160 a year, I would think.
And this is not just any bell.
And Shannon,
this is a
if you're
special
listening, buddy, just so you know, I have now officially brought an iPhone charger here next to, let's call it your microphones, and you're welcome to use that. But if you're charging me for the bell, you bet your ass I'm charging you
to use the charger.
for the charger. No doubt about it. Anyway, stream us at FloridaManRadio.com. You can also watch the stream of the program by going to You Have Power Radio on Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, all of the social media type places, or listen to us on the iHeart app.
And now it's time for the opening statement. This should be interesting.
Always the big debate. Do I buy a house or do I rent a home? I'm going to tell you why owning a house is by far and away the better, most safe way to really have a roof over your head. We're going to talk to you about why now is definitely the time to buy, or even if you already own a house right now, why you really need to consider refinancing your home now because of the interest rates. But first, let me introduce you to the team. I have Orlando radio legend Mick Dolan directly to my right. Hello, Mick.
Hey, what's going on?
How did that blowing of your nose go right before the show began? You feel better?
Yeah.
Don't think I didn't see that, by the way.
Well, I'm not trying to hide it.
And now wiping herself off directly to his right.
Oh, stop it.
Is the beautiful Briana. Did you get wet over there or no,
I
Briana?
feel like I'm in the splash zone, Nick. I don't know.
She didn't.
I mean, look,
Madness.
You know,
I'm like Rodney Dangerfield. I get no respect.
That's all right. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Pushing the buttons, answering your calls. It's Eric Stacy. Eric, how are you, buddy?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Excellent. You feeling comfortable over there now?
Yeah,
You look like
everything's going
everything's going
great.
well, huh?
Oh, yeah.
New studio will be available. What do you think? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 week?
Actually, late next week we're talking.
Wow.
Tell me another joke,
So
McDowell.
that's only a little bit more than a week.
You really think so?
Well, no, but
What are you predicting,
just
Eric?
saying that.
Here's what I have noticed too. I feel like this conversation is actually off limits around the station. You know, we're on a radio station, guys. You can joke around with each other, but if you talk to management about when the studio is going to be ready, you get a certain look. It's not like a ha that's funny look.
It's kind of a blank stare. It's like,
Yeah,
you
so I don't
want
know.
What?
Maybe we should stay away from that topic. What do you think?
Probably.
All right. So
nothing we can do about it.
I'm going to tell you something tonight that no one else is going to tell you. So real estate maybe can be a little bit of a boring subject, but I think that if you're looking to buy a house, or even if you own a house, or you're wondering why you're paying so much damn rent right now, I'm going to tell you how to avoid that. I'm going to really fix your real estate issues over the next hour. So, look, I know real estate sounds boring. I promise it's not going to be. Here's something no one's ever going to tell you guys, right?
Good.
People come up to me all the time and they say, Justin, there's no way I'm ready to buy a house. I can't. I'm not financially stable enough to buy a house. I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job and I can't pay the mortgage, so I don't want to buy a house. Let me tell you why this argument is totally nonsensical, okay? You might know that at my law firm over the last, decade now, since the whole epic real estate collapse, we represent like 15,000 people going through foreclosure, all right? So think about it like this. Let's say you go buy a house right now, all right? You buy. You're paying a mortgage. Everything is good. If you were to lose a job, right? I mean, the most important thing, if you just don't have any money to pay your rent or your mortgage, I would rather you put food on the table than worry about paying your mortgage or rent. If you're renting, how long do you think it takes for the landlord to kick you out of the house?
Could take up to 3 months.
Yeah, but more likely like 30 days or even less than 30 days if you're a renter. So if you lose a job and you just simply can't pay your mortgage or your rent, if you're renting at the time, you're going to be out of that place. There's almost nothing even a lawyer can do if you're renting to keep you in there more than a month or two. However, if you own the house, especially in the state of Florida, if you own the house, you bought the home, you're paying a mortgage, if the proverbial you-know-what hits the fan,
Right.
you're going to stay in the house, especially if you hire someone like me, you're going to stay in this house for a year, year and a half, 2 years. And that's why this argument that I'm not financially stable or I'm worried about losing my job doesn't make sense. It's actually better to own.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take the mortgage company, the dirty, slimy mortgage company at times, 2 years. And then look, even after 2 years, what can you do? Then at the very last minute, file bankruptcy. Now we got another year.
Yeah. Wow.
So if you're worried about losing a job, your financial stability, I would be more worried about renting than I would buying. Have you ever heard anyone talk like this?
No.
Does it make sense to you, or am I just totally sound like Ledge?
Well, wait a minute. Hold on now.
I'm just saying, Ledge gets a little off the rails sometimes.
Yeah, well, no.
I love the guy. I'm not talking trash about Ledge. He's great. I'm just saying he has some weird ideas.
He's a conspiratist.
There you go.
Yes.
Briana,
I don't know.
does it make sense what I'm saying or no?
No, what you're saying does make sense. Perfect sense.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
See, she likes it.
Jeez, sorry.
Let me get...
It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I'm still trying to get my head around it. You know?
Yeah. It's not
I
popular
didn't ask
opinion.
you, Mick.
I didn't have a big head.
I didn't even ask you. Let me give you a little history on this, okay? And here's why I don't think we're going to have another collapse. That's the other thing people will come up to me and say, I'm not ready to buy anymore because I'm afraid that we're going to have another epic collapse like we did in 2008, 2009, and 2010. So anyone that lives in Central Florida, 2006 was the absolute peak of the market.
It was.
Right?
It was.
It was
just
the peak.
Insane.
And it was the peak of the real estate market for one reason and one reason alone. Because we had people working at Disney World making $650 an hour, buying houses for $800,000, $1 million. This is not the Disney workers' fault, by the way. This is the banker's fault. This is the bank's fault for loaning the money. Because at that time, all that you needed was a pulse and a pen.
Yeah.
And you got a mortgage.
I
You
know a couple of people that did that.
Yeah. There is some of them in this room, probably.
No, but and he ended up okay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He actually made money and was able to keep it up.
Well, in 2006, all you needed was a pulse and a pen. Because these banks were making so much money off of lending you money that they loved it, right? And then they would package them up and sell them to this hedge fund and that hedge fund.
That was the problem.
They were making loads of money on us. So when anyone ever comes to me and says, Justin, you're a scumbag for representing these people who can't even afford to pay their mortgages, first of all, I laugh in their face because I've seen what these banks have done. I have absolutely no issue whatsoever helping you through a tough financial time while all these jerks are making millions and millions of dollars off of us, right? So 2006 was the peak. Then if you remember, like 2008, you started seeing the headlines about Bear Stearns collapsing and all these big banks up in New York collapse.
Scary.
And that's when it really started going downhill, 2008, 2009, 2010. And that's when everyone was in foreclosure or bankruptcy because Florida really is the real estate capital of the world in a lot of ways. Everyone here works in some way or another in the real estate world, right? So this 2008, 9, 10 epic collapse really affected a lot of us here in Central Florida. But it had another effect on us. So we were all losing our homes or going through foreclosure or whatever. Then when it was time to go buy another house, the banks weren't lending again. So in 2006, a pulse and a pen gets you a huge mortgage. 2010, you basically needed an act of Congress for someone to give you a loan.
Right.
So everyone was renting. And then what you've noticed, the rental rate started creeping up because no one could buy. So the rental market became very, very competitive. So the rental market was fantastic if you're a landlord, but if you're some regular Joe trying to put a roof over your family's head, it was a disaster.
Right.
And it really still is. The rental market still is very, very, very difficult. Where are we now? And this is what makes me nervous. And if you have any questions at all, 321-339-1055. Justin Clark here with you on Florida Man Radio. Here's where we're at now when it comes to can you qualify for a mortgage or not? Because a lot of people are scared off. because in 2010 they couldn't get a mortgage. I went through a bankruptcy in 2009. There's no way I'm going to be able to qualify. While we're not back to a pulse and a pen like 2006,
No.
I would venture to say that we're closer to the 2006 easiness of getting a mortgage than we are the toughness of 2010.
Oh, of course.
I mean, I have lenders who are doing loans for people that have 580, 550 credit scores.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, sir.
Good Lord.
So it's really easy now to get a loan again. Not as easy as it used to be.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be as easy as it used to be, or we're going to go through the same exact cycle.
Yeah.
But it is getting much easier to get a mortgage now than it was certainly in 2010. But here's another thing. So you say, well, that's fine and all, but there's no way I have 20% down to pay for a down payment on this new home. Well, good news for you. There are plenty of programs out there that do no down payment again. 0 down, especially if you're a veteran. You know, you can get a VA loan, no problem. Didn't you just buy a house, Brianna, or you guys are renting now? I forgot.
We're about to buy.
Okay. But you moved recently, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Because, see, I remember, I always forget where she lives.
Yeah.
I had to ask for, like, the first year and a half of knowing her.
And then I moved.
And then she moved. For some reason,
Start all over.
It's been easier remembering that you live in Belle Isle, right?
Yeah, that's where we are now.
Yeah. See? Yeah. I'm learning. It took a year. She lives in Belle Isle. But
Off of Neela. Right?
She's looking to buy now. Anyway, so what was I saying? She threw me off.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So,
I have that
Talking
effect
about-
on people.
You're talking about rents, and you're talking about an
So
easy
it's
credit.
become a lot easier to buy. A lot of people now can get 0% down if you're VA, USDA. There are tons of loan programs that'll get you 0% down. But also, even if you're going to go what we call FHA, which is a program many people use, you can pay like 3%, 3.5% down, which really isn't that bad if you put it into perspective. And here's the perspective you need to think about. Let's say that you're going to buy a house for $200,000, right?
Right.
I mean, this is somewhat of a starter home, but you can get a decent house for $200,000.
Yeah.
To rent the home for $200,000, you're probably paying $1,600, $1,700 a month in rent.
At least.
At least, on the very, very minimum. But you're also going to pay at least 2, if not 3 times that when you move in, because you got to pay first month, last month, and many people are going to make you pay a security deposit as well. So now you're almost at $5,700 right there. All right, so let's pretend like we're getting a loan, a $200,000 loan. Let's even say you're going to put 3.5% down. That's $7,000. You know, you like that math? Real quick.
Yeah.
That's $7,000. It's just a tiny bit more than what you have to pay just to move in to this rental home.
Right.
So there are so many options out there, but here's the real kicker. Now, some of us in this room remember Jimmy Carter days very well.
Yes.
Mick. Some of us were a little younger when President Carter was president.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing, Mick, you remember about the Jimmy Carter days, you remember them well.
Yeah.
Although your memory might be a little
We don't know
it is,
where.
yeah.
Do you remember
Yeah.
what it was like to buy a house when Jimmy Carter was president?
The rates were sky high.
You're talking about
I mean, big
17,
time. Yeah.
18%
Right.
to buy a home. To pay your mortgage, you were paying 17 or 18%.
Guess what? I
Go.
bought a condo
Yeah.
in 1980 when I first moved down here. The interest rate was 15%.
I believe it, 100%.
15%. And then I refinanced twice and got it down to very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was reasonable, though, even then?
I don't remember the exact, but I know that the mortgage payment was about 3-something.
Yeah, it's
almost $400.
unbelievable. So in the 1980s, we were paying 17% to buy a home.
Ridiculous.
Now, what are we paying now? Let's look at it. Because while I've been saying for the last 3 years that the interest rates are going to go up, they actually haven't. In fact, even over the last few months, they've come down to even below 4% again.
Right.
Which below 4%, some ways you look at it, is actually free money. Because you could think that you could go invest that money somewhere else and hopefully get more than 4% for your investment. So it actually is free money to you in some ways. So let's do a little math, if you don't mind. Please, allow me. Let's say you're going to go buy a house for $280,000, Mick, right?
Okay.
You're going to go buy a house for $280,000. you can get a pretty decent house for $280. You know, it's not going to be a mansion.
No,
but you can get a
it'd be good
fairly decent house for $280,000.
Right.
And this is actually, I actually found a house to make this completely accurate for you. The rent, if you're going to go rent this house, you're going to pay $2,300 per month to rent this home. All right, $2,300 a month. It's not yours. You know, I guess if the refrigerator goes bad, they're going to have to fix it for you. But other than that, you're paying rent to someone else.
Yeah.
To go buy this same house for $280,000, let's look at your payment. And this is PITI. You know what PITI means?
No.
Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So all in.
Everything.
This is covering everything. Your payment is going to be $1,346 per month based on the current interest rates. That's if you put 20% down. All right, $1,340, over $1,000 less to own the same damn house that would cost you $2,300 a month to rent. But you know what, Justin? I don't want to put 20% down, and I get that. I totally get that. That's a lot of money. It's like $50,000. All right. So if you don't want to put 20% down, let's go with a 3.5% down, something like that. Your payment only goes up to like $1,500 a month. It's still $800 less to own the house than it is to rent it. Do you understand why this is important to me to let the consumer know to not just continue to rent? Because I know for a fact, because I talk to you all the time, I know for a fact that there are many of us out there who were scared to check our credit because, you know, the crap that's happened to us in the past, and it's just easier to rent because we don't want to deal with it.
Right.
But the scary part for me is we're overpaying in rent when you could easily qualify to buy a house again. Yeah. And I want to make sure we don't make that mistake. All right, if you have questions about this, give us a call right here in the studio, 321-339-1055. I figured out the 1055 thing, by the way. You know what I mean? Because I hate people who say when it's zero, but I get it. You know, it's the station is 105.5, so
easier to say.
But please, you guys don't think I'm an idiot for saying 1055. I get it. It's a zero. It's not a letter. You know, because the number is actually zero, not O. Correct, guys? Brianna, am I right?
No, you're correct.
But just to play this radio game, I'm going to say 321-339-1055, just so that way you're going to remember the station as well, right? Okay. And the station is Florida Man Radio. I've got the beautiful Briana here. Orlando radio legend Mick Dolan's here. Eric Stacy is here. Have we thought of a name for Eric? I mean, I always want to call him E-Stace. But what comes to your mind?
E-Stace.
E-Stace.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like an E-cig.
What do you think? What have people called you in the past?
You know what? I've done years of it, and
no one can come up with anything.
I've not gotten a cool radio nickname. It actually hurts a little bit because, you know, you got guys.
Maybe what we should
Lurch
do.
walked in, and Lurch got a great nickname.
Yeah,
and
he did.
Maybe what we should
it worked
do,
for him.
Maybe what we should do is let's bring that Jack Daniels back and have Mick drink on the show again and see if he can come up with some creative names.
That's a good idea.
What do you think about
Let's try
let's
that.
make it Fireball this time.
You think we should
Make
do
it
that?
Fireball.
I don't like the Jack. Jack is a little bit.
Some of us have also been owning a house for a while, and we're thinking about upsizing or downsizing or moving away. And we've seen these advertisements for these things called iBuyers. Have you heard of this? Open Door, Offer Pad. Have you heard of these new websites?
Yeah, Offer Pad.
So let me tell you something about these websites. And should you ever sell your home on one of these websites? That's coming up all just ahead. Give us a call, 321-339-1055. It is Justin Clark on Florida Man Radio.
You're listening to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
Going to work or just taking care of your home. Daily activities that should never put you in jeopardy. Roundup Weed Killer has been linked to many cases of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Our farmers, gardeners, florists, and maintenance workers have been exposed to this toxic chemical. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or are receiving chemotherapy as a result of Roundup exposure, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-565-4000. That's 1-800-565-4000 for a free consultation.
Is there anything more annoying than car repairs? And the cost is ridiculous. Well, if you own some tools and aren't afraid of using a little elbow grease, you need to go to Budget You Pull It. Budget You Pull It can save you up to 80% in auto repair expense. They've got parts from bumper to bumper and everything in between. Fenders, motors, transmissions, batteries. You need it, you pull it. Got a junk car that you're trying to unload? Budget You Pull It also pays top dollar for junkers. You pull it, you save. BudgetYouPullIt.com.
AC problems getting you down? Four Seasons Air Conditioning has been keeping Florida comfortable since 1953. Before your air conditioner lets you down, call Four Seasons to schedule something that is important: maintenance. Four Seasons AC does more than fix your system. They actually follow up to make sure you're comfortable. 407-295-9231. Four Seasons Air Conditioning, the company you wish you called first. That's 407-295-9231 or visit 4acnow.com. CAC 056308.
RC Hill here from RC Hill Mitsubishi. It's time to up your standard of driving. If your old ride is unreliable, unsafe, or just plain uncool, this month I want to help you dump that junker and dive into a nice new car today. Even if you're underwater in your old ride, I'm paying way over appraised value for any car. If you owe $2,000, $4,000, or even $7,000 more than it's worth, I still want it, regardless of age, mileage, or condition. Plus, my dealer next door credit approval process is a pearl in an ocean of fishy alternatives. And you could float home for just $8 down. Get a really cool deal on a new 2019 Mitsubishi Mirage for only $9,900, or a 2019 Outlander Sport starting at $15,900. So sink that ride you hate and you could drive for $8. That's right, you can be swimming in savings. But hurry, my accountant's a wet blanket and he won't let this deal go on for long. I'm RC Hill, your car dealer next door. Get wet and wild at rchill.com. That's rchill.com.
Require bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. $227.46 per month for 75 months. 2.9%. Amount finance $15,542.
This is CJ, owner of Bellicoso Cigars and Cafe on North Park Avenue in Winter Park. Some people come for our cigars, some come for our coffee, but everyone comes for our community and conversation. Listen to what our customers have to say.
At Bellicoso, I've had people that I hang out outside of Bellicoso now because they really have become very dear friends and family. You're never going to be alone. You're always going to have good coffee. You're almost always going to have good conversation and definitely a good cigar.
Bellicoso Cigars and Cafe.
Greens Energy Services will come to your rescue.
The savings are hot, so your home can stay cool. Turn to the experts at Greens Energy Services for service, repairs, or replacement. Don't guess. Go with the best. Greens Energy, the one your friends and neighbors give rave reviews to. Check out their customer feedback online anytime. One of the highest rated AC companies in Central Florida. Need help, but so does your budget? Greens offers homeowners creative financing to make things easy and service quick. GreensEnergy.com.
We'll come to your rescue.
CAC 1813726.
This is Sergeant Slayer. Attend. Today's orders are to go to WeKillFloridaBugs.com. Say it again. WeKillFloridaBugs.com.
WeKillFloridaBugs.com is home of Mighty Tech Pest Management. Get in touch with Mighty Tech today for residential and commercial pest control, termites, wildlife exclusion, and removal. And if mosquitoes are a problem, ask Mighty Tech about them as well. Call for a free evaluation today. 1-888-750-7378.
Say it again. WeKillFloridaBugs.com. Dismissed.
Call Pizza Hut now to pick up a large 3-topping pizza for just $7.99. Because the best place to pick up a pizza has pizza in the name. No one out pizzas the Hut. Ask or click for offer. Additional charge for extra cheese, stuffed crust, pan, and extra toppings. Availability, prices, and participation vary, baby.
$700 and you're behind the wheel of a better ride. At Orlando Car Deals, pay just $700 down, no credit check, and drive today. Your income is your credit. Call 844-700-DOWN, 8900 South US Highway 1792 Maitland, or online at OrlandoCarDeals.com.
Are you or a loved one suffering from alcohol or opioid addiction? Don't put your life on hold any longer. Call PTC of Orlando. They offer alcohol, opioid, and gambling outpatient detox plans for all ages. PTC of Orlando proudly offers the Sinclair method for alcohol dependency, so you can gradually get your life in order. Call them today, 321-972-4618. PTC of Orlando. Visit ptcorlando.com for more information. Professional Treatment Centers of Orlando, putting lives on track instead of on hold.
This week, it's the Jags on Florida Man Radio.
Sunday, it's week 2 of the brand new NFL season, and the Jacksonville Jaguars travel to the Lone Star State to take on J.J. Watt, Deshaun Watson, and division rivals, the Houston Texans. Hear it live here on Florida Man Radio. Pre-game at noon, kickoff at 1.
Central Florida's home for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 660 AM, 105.5 FM. Florida Man Radio.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Now, back to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
Welcome back to the show. Justin Clark here with you on Florida Man Radio, 321-339-1055. Let's head down to Fort Myers. Tony, you're a mortgage lender. Does that mean you're going to yell at me, sir?
No,
Oh,
actually, quite the contrary.
Sweet. What's up? Welcome to the show, Tony. I like you already.
Thank you. First-time listener, first-time caller.
Good.
Just wanted to make a quick comment. Kind of going back to the opening of your show. I agree with 99% of everything that you said.
That's a good start.
With the exception of you have a feeling that we are nearing towards a collapse or a bubble like we saw in 2006.
No. I said I totally believe we are not going to have another bubble like that at all. I feel like maybe maybe we're already going through a leveling out process. You know, I mean, as the market was climbing so incredibly fast over the last 2 years, I think it's leveled out. I think there's no way in the world we're going to have another epic collapse. And I think a lot of it is thankful to the mortgage lenders like yourself being more responsible this time, you know, and the big banks being more responsible. It had to happen in 2006 when we were giving people making $10 an hour, $1 million loans. It was bound to happen. You know what I mean, Tony?
100%. And if you've ever seen the movie The Big Short, that is a
great movie.
Scary representation of what it was. Then I must have been mistaken. You made a comment getting more lax than with our lending policies. And because I was going to say Graham-Leach-Bliley Act and the amendments to TILA and RESPA has made that impossible.
So what I meant by
we are trying to stimulate the economy and everything, but there's still extremely tight federal guidelines that we have to follow.
Yeah, what I meant by more lax is, in 2006 it was a pulse and a pen. In 2010 it took an act of Congress to get a mortgage. I'm saying it is definitely getting easier to get a mortgage, but we're not nearly at a place, Mick Dolan, where you can just not provide any financial docs. That was the problem. Back then you didn't have to show them anything, like no pay stubs, no nothing.
Correct.
And now, because
now it's almost you have to sign over your firstborn.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you, can I ask you a Fort Myers question? Something I've always thought of, and I think I need to ask you, Tony. All right, Tony in Fort Myers. So when I lived in Boston for a long time, the Red Sox are huge in Boston, as you guys know. So the Red Sox do their spring training in Fort Myers. We even built a replica Fenway almost down there. Yeah. So a lot of
mini Fenway.
A lot of my Boston friends would end up either buying a second home or just moving to Fort Myers. Do the people of Fort Myers hate us, love us, or somewhere in the middle?
Bostonians?
Yeah.
Or New Englanders as a whole?
Let's go with New Englanders as a whole.
No. I'm just teasing. There's just I've lived in Southwest Florida for going on 10 years. I call myself the opposite of a snowbird.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I used to spend the summers down in Southwest Florida golfing.
Right.
Until I finally got sick of leaving and I moved down. There's not a hatred or anything like that. If anything, there's more of just it's kind of just like the rule of thumb, kind of something that was a natural progression that the majority of the Mid-Atlantic and the New Englanders go to the East Coast.
Right.
And the West Coast, Southwest Florida, is traditionally a lot of Midwesterners.
Absolutely.
So it's not that there's any angst towards, Bostonians or New Yorkers or, D.C. or anything like that. It's just you can tell immediately when somebody is not from the Midwest just because of the Midwest hospitality that we get down here.
Tom freaking Brady, bro.
It kind of stick out like a sore thumb. Stick out like a sore thumb.
Well, since I have you here, because the next thing I was going to address is many people, even if we've refied recently over the last year or two, might even want to look at it again. What is the time frame you think, Tony, of the last refi to where we actually need to be looking at it again right now?
By law, you have to wait. It's a 6 months maturity period of your loan. Even if there's no loan, even if you just purchased a house with cash and you want to cash out refi, say up to 80% to consolidate debt, you want to buy a boat down here, you want to put your kids through college, something like that, you can put a note on your house that you owe Typically, along, if you're going conventional, whatever, of course, there's FHA, VA, all that fun stuff that you're familiar with. There's typically up to 80% that you can cash out refinance. That can only be done 6 months from the closing date of your home.
That's not
For
much,
example,
though.
I'll give you a perfect example. I just bought my house. I own a couple of condos in Naples, but I moved up to Fort Myers with my fiance. We bought our house in November of last year. We're, very high credit scores, great jobs, blah, 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 blah. We were at 4.875.
Wow.
If you look at the track record of the interest rates, how they've been trending, November of last year was the highest that they were.
Sure.
I am now currently refinancing my own house that I just bought in November because I can now get it down to $375.
Unbelievable.
And that's going to save me $160 a month.
Exactly. Unbelievable. Hey, Tony, thanks for listening, brother. Keep listening. Come see us when you're up here, all right?
Will do. Absolutely. Take care, guys.
All right, have a great night. Let me also address Briana with you here for a second. The people who are looking to sell their home now, it always comes to their mind, well, you know what? I think I'm just going to sell this thing by myself. I'm going to go down to Ace Hardware and buy a for sale by owner sign,
Fisbo,
write my number on it,
Fisbo,
and I'm going to save this real estate commission. I'm not going to pay this 6% to some real estate agent when I can sell it myself. Almost every time, and don't be mad at me for saying this, but almost every time that is not the right way to go because you're almost always going to cheat yourself out of some of the equity, right? There are so many bad things that can happen between the time someone actually offers you something and closing. They're going to try to hammer you down and all sorts of different things. It's almost always worth it to pay the 6% as opposed to selling your house yourself. The only time I ever say, okay, maybe consider doing it by yourself is if it's a family member or a close friend that you're going to sell it to.
Right.
Maybe in that situation you might want to consider a FSBO. But other than that, I always like to stay away from selling your house without a real estate agent. And do some research, too. I mean, there are a lot of realtors in town, a lot that, Briana, you and I see every week. We do a TV show on CBS called You Have Real Estate, so it's kind of something that we know a little bit about. We talk to realtors all the time. But like lawyers, like radio guys, there are some good ones and some bad ones. So do some research, interview 2 or 3 before you really decide on who you're going to trust to sell your biggest asset, really. 321-339-1055. Let's head over to Orlando. Samantha, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How may I help you?
I have a question about inspections and so on with homes. I recently bought a house. I had it inspected, and nothing major was really found. But a couple of months in, I had a huge leak that was under the floor in the kitchen. And it wasn't found by the inspector. But when I had the plumbing people come over, they said that there had obviously been something done to fix an issue, exactly where the leak was. So I never got any response from the owner stating that there was an issue. The inspector never found it. What are my recourses at that point?
I mean, really a good question. And this is sort of half real estate, half law. So anytime that you go buy a house, the seller has to fill out, or any sort of good realtor who's representing a seller is going to make them fill out a form, essentially, that has to show what defects that they know about. So anything that's going to materially and adversely affect the home, a seller has to disclose that if they know about it. Yeah. I mean, there's just no room for error on this thing. If you're a seller, and this is another reason why I think you should not do a for sale by owner, definitely hire a realtor who knows what they're doing.
Right.
Because if you don't disclose defects that materially affect the value of your home, you can get sued later. Now, there are some interesting things that you don't have to disclose. Yeah. The statute clearly says you don't have to disclose a murder in the house.
Right.
If someone was murdered in your home, you don't have to disclose it. If someone had HIV, you don't have to disclose it. But little things like, well, not little, it's not little to Samantha, a plumbing issue like this that you knew about, you most definitely have to disclose that. So you find yourself in Samantha's position. What do you do? Well, here's what I think that you have to look at doing. I think you have to consider a lawsuit against 3 different people in this situation. Number 1, you have to look at a lawsuit against the seller for failing to disclose an issue in the house that materially affects the value of it. Number 2, should the inspector have found it? And a little tidbit on inspectors, on the inspection agreement that they have, it'll almost always say that their liability is limited to the cost of the inspection, so like $400, you know. So, but it's a contractual thing. But I've many times seen courts continue to hold inspectors liable for something they didn't find, even though the contract says their liability is limited to the $400. And then you also have to look at the listing agent and make sure they weren't in some sort of cahoots with the seller, and that they knew about it as well, and they were hiding that defect. So, you know, Samantha, I mean, I think that you're in a bad spot now because it's likely your insurance company's not going to cover it if it happened before, and it's likely you're going to have to consider maybe hiring a lawyer or you know, calling the seller and saying, "Seller, I'm either going to sue you or you're going to help me fix this thing."
Yeah. How much was the job? How much is it going to cost you? Do you know?
I got quoted over $4,000.
So, and you know how most people after they've just bought a new house aren't exactly cash rich at the time because they've made a down payment, they bought new towels and furniture, and now you're getting hit with another $4,000. I would really recommend probably talking to a lawyer and saying, look, you know, they didn't disclose this. And Samantha, I think you told me that there was something there that showed they probably knew about it, right?
Exactly. That's what the plumber said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the plumber's going to be your witness.
He detected that there had been some activity trying to do something in that same spot.
Like trying to fix the issue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Good
and,
deal.
and is that something that insurance would cover too if I had to go that route?
Probably not. I mean, if it was pre-existing, definitely make a claim. You know, you might as well make a claim. But if it was pre-existing to you purchasing it, it's likely that they're going to deny coverage, and you're going to be out the $4,000. But I certainly think you need to consider having a nice, detailed conversation with the seller. I would even talk to the agent who represented the seller and just say, hey, did you know about this? And certainly the inspector that you hired and you paid $450 to prevent this from happening.
They missed it.
You know, how did they miss it? So best of luck to you, Samantha. Thanks for calling in. Keep listening. 321-339-1055. It is Justin Clark with you on Florida Man Radio. So we talked earlier about not selling your house on your own, right? I would rather you hire a realtor and pay them the commission. And I know it adds up. I mean, I know it's a lot of money. But in all likelihood, they're going to find you a deal that's better than you would find on your own, you know? And they also have the ability to put it on an MLS. And we live in a very transient market, too, and a global market, Orlando.
Right,
so
there's all over the place.
they're going to advertise in Brazil and England, and they're going to just have a much bigger buyer pool than you're going to have. So the next question is, okay, fine, Justin, I believe you. I'm going to go ahead and hire a realtor. I'm not going to go to Ace Hardware and get a little for sale sign, you know, and put a little Sharpie with my phone number on. I won't do that. I'll hire a realtor, but ain't no way I'm paying damn 6%, Clark.
Get it together, Clarky.
Get it together, Clarky. I'm not paying 6%.
How negotiable is that?
Well, how much negotiating do you want to do is what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, well, how about half?
No, here's
3%.
You might as well go for sale by owner if you're going to do that.
At that point.
Here's why, generally, I don't like to negotiate this 6%. Hey, look, if it's a couple $1 million house or, you know, $1.5 million, maybe we can negotiate it a little bit. Right. But if you're talking about $250,000, $300,000 house, you know, the sort of the regular houses that you're going to see on the market, I don't like negotiating the 6% at all. And I'll tell you why. 321-339-1055. Here's why. If you start negotiating this 6%, the agent then has to put on MLS that they're only paying 2.5% or 2% or whatever it's going to be. Because keep in mind, I think 80% of real estate transactions in this town have two agents. So the 6% is split 3 and 3.
Yeah.
So if you go in and you negotiate if you're the seller and you're negotiating with your agent down from the 6%, you say, okay, I'll only pay you 5%, not a penny more. Okay, fine. But your agent, when they list your home on MLS, has to go on MLS and say they're only paying 2.5% to the cooperating agent. So now, this agent who's showing properties to the person you hope is going to buy your house, they're going to put your home on the bottom of the pile. Look, ethically,
I got you.
Ethically, they're not supposed to, right? They're just supposed to treat this home like any other home. But the buyer's agent who's driving the buyer around town to 10 different houses, they want a full 3%.
Yeah.
So do you think, all things being equal, are they going to show your house for a 2 or 2.5% commission when they can get 3 right down the street?
I guess it depends on how many houses they have in their portfolio.
So be very careful when you go and you start negotiating that 6%. More times than not, just pay the 6%.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not a huge home, because the buyer pool shrinks when you try to shrink that commission.
If you get a hold of a good agent, they hold your hand through this thing.
You better believe it.
It's a complicated process, and I'll tell you, I couldn't do it myself. I have always had an agent.
Yeah, it's definitely the way to go. 321-339-1055. Justin Clark here with you on Florida Man Radio. Eric, how you doing over there, buddy?
Everything's great.
Have you bought a house yet? You're a little younger than me, I think.
No,
how old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay, so I just turned 40.
Yeah, I have
I still
always
feel
been a
young.
renter.
I
Yeah,
remember
really?
34.
I think it's time. You married, kids? What do you have?
Married, yeah.
All right. How
no
long
kids.
married? How long you been married?
6 years now.
Wow.
Wow.
How is she being nice to you?
Oh, she's great.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you like wink if you're being?
No, she's great.
He didn't wink, did he?
Why are you trying to set this man up, Justin?
That's why I said wink.
But he isn't.
Hey, I'm being
he's
truthful
not
because I
facing-
know she's working right now, so she can't hear me anyway.
can't even
So
hear
yeah,
you?
so definitely being truthful.
And you're not facing the camera, so she wouldn't know. Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, who don't come to the station every single night, we are in temporary digs here. You know, it's a great studio. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this is really radio at its
all we
finest.
need.
But it's set up to where Eric's back is actually to me. So there are times where I want to talk to him, but I don't see his face.
But he's busy.
But he's busy. He's busy pushing buttons, things like that.
You know what? I learned something
What?
tonight. The thing about the liability of the home inspector
Yeah.
is only as much as what you paid.
Well,
That's ridiculous.
Well, and it's not exactly true either. And let me give you an example.
Okay.
The liability on his contract or her contract says that I'm only liable up to the cost of it. But what is a court going to rule?
Okay.
I've seen that contract be tossed out all the time. Think about it like this. You go to a Kansas City Chiefs game. I know you're a Chiefs guy.
I did.
You go to a Chiefs game, and on the back of the ticket it always says, we're not responsible for anything that happens to you while at the game, right?
Right.
But how many times have you seen lawsuits like, dude gets drunk and falls over a stadium wall and it gets $2 million, right? So just because you say it doesn't mean that you can really get rid of that liability 100%.
Well, baseball has a problem now because of foul balls into the crowd, and now they've had to put up fencing. But now there's liability there.
My daughter rides horses, as you know, Mick.
Oh yeah.
And when you go to her barn or like, go to these competitions and things, I hope I don't sound elitist. I'm sorry if I do. But on every single equine thing, it says, ride at your own risk. We're not responsible for anything that happens to you. That's baloney in a lot of ways. You can't just say, I'm not responsible for anything, right? I mean, if you go ride down the, whatever you call it, jump over one of these jumps and there's like a knife at the end of it and you get hurt, sure, they're being negligent. You can't just say, we're not responsible for anything.
Or there's a big divot in the course and the horse falls and breaks his leg.
Exactly. So don't always think that, because the contract says this or the back of the ticket. I mean, what do you think the back of a Disney ticket says? It probably says they can sue you for, we reserve the right to sue you for anything we want because we're Disney.
You better take a few hours to read that.
It doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they can actually do. So, all right, don't sell your house by yourself. I don't even recommend, unless it's a pretty big number, negotiating that 6% commission down that much either. But also I want to talk about these new businesses, these online businesses.
Oh, yeah.
We call them iBuyers. Eric, have you heard of this yet? Do you know what an iBuyer is?
Oh, I hear them all the time.
Yeah,
Those, we buy houses, or
a little similar, but these aren't local people. These are huge companies that have created. The two biggest ones you've ever heard of are Open Door.
Yes.
Have you heard of this?
Yes.
And Offer Pad.
Both of them. Yep.
They're like, people come to me and they say, Justin, I don't need a stinking lawyer. I don't need a realtor. I've got Offer Pad on my side. And what they do, these companies come in and they just make you a verbal offer for your house on the telephone.
Right.
And you're like, sweet, because my house is all kinds of messed up.
Yeah.
And if I get a real buyer in here, they're going to find out. and they're not going to buy my house.
So does it work out?
Of course not. Do you think OfferPad, this billion-dollar company, is dumb enough to come buy your lemon of a house?
Probably not, but yeah.
OfferPad, they'll make you an offer.
Yeah.
Better believe they'll make you an offer. They'll offer you something nice. But they're going to bring 5 inspectors into your home before this thing's all over with. They're going to inspect the hell out of this house.
That's right.
You're not going to be able to hide these bumps and bruises that you think you're going to be able to hide because you're talking to a computer.
Right.
The only difference is it's like dealing with like a little government over there. You have a 1-800 number you can call for service. You're trying to sell the biggest asset in your life, and you're essentially talking to a server farm out of California.
Now, is this for buying or selling?
This is, well, I mean, it's for selling.
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, not really.
Yeah.
I guess no. I mean, it's really for selling.
Yeah.
But people think that it just happens so fast and natural. But they are absolutely going to do as many, if not more, inspections than any regular buyer is ever going to do. They are going to find out the nitty-gritty stuff on your house that you're trying to hide from another buyer.
That's what I always wondered with those open door. You hear that on commercial all the time. Oh, they gave us an offer and we sold our house in 23 days. And I'm going, there is no way possible that you were out of that house in 23 days with money in your hand.
They will give you an offer without question within 24 hours.
I got a question. Now, this big inspection, these 5 inspections they do you get to see those inspections?
You can be there.
Do you have a copy?
Oh,
boy, would that be good, huh?
Yeah.
Now, then you're armed for the real sale.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know for sure, but probably you're likely not allowed to see a copy of that. But don't think for a minute that they're not going to come inspect your house.
Yeah,
they absolutely, positively are.
Never as easy as it looks.
But at the end of the day, here's what you have to keep in mind. They're trying to take the equity away from you. I mean, all they're trying to do is buy your house and then sell it to someone else for more money. They're trying to skim the equity off the top from you to make money for themselves.
Yep.
So I don't understand really why we would ever want to do it unless we're just like fed up. Like, I'm just done. I don't care what I'm going to get for this house.
Right.
I just want to be done. I want to go to North Carolina. I'm sick of Florida.
Yeah.
I'm a halfback. And I'm ready to go halfway back. You know what a halfback is?
No.
Brianna, you know what a halfback is?
Well, it's a football player, but...
I know. A halfback is someone who comes from New York or Boston, and they move to Florida. Right? They come down here to Florida, and they just get tired of Florida people.
Yeah.
I'm going to go halfway back. And they go to northern Georgia, Tennessee, or western North Carolina.
There you go.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a halfback.
That's right.
321-339-1055. Justin Clark here with you. It's Florida Man Radio. Listen to us every single night, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. following the Shannon Burke Show. I love Shando, by the way.
Oh, he's something
He
else.
is the man, right?
Great. Something else.
The bell thing, I mean, he gave me a bell. By give it to me, I mean he leaves it here so I can hit the bell. Now I've given him a charger.
A charger.
Now the only question is, does Shando have an iPhone? And I think that might be a question we might want to ask him on Twitter, because if not, here's what we should do for him. Here's what I think we should do, because this whole what do you call this charger thing we have? Charger tower.
Yes.
I have a charging tower in the studio now.
You do.
And it has 5 different outlets. So if Shando doesn't have an iPhone, what we should do to be nice, like co-host friends or whatever, we should buy him a charger for whatever kind of phone he has.
Right. Interesting.
Don't you think that would be a good... I mean, he let us borrow his bell.
That's a goodwill gesture, yes.
And then maybe... But look, I'm not really trying to be nice. It's because I don't want to pay him the rent he wanted to charge me for the bell.
Well...
And he wanted $160 a year. So I feel like if we invest maybe $30 in a charger of his choice...
Yeah. I like that.
$160 for a bell is not bad, though. If you're getting a lot of uses out of it, you got to go,
And it's a groovy
you're getting down to, like...
Look at that.
Pennies on the dollar there.
And you know what? He didn't even mention anything about interest either. So, I think that's probably not such a bad idea.
I got an idea.
Go ahead.
Buy 2 of them.
2 what?
2 of these towers.
Well, I think,
and
but
give me 1.
Okay.
There you go. I could use one of them.
And that'll solve that.
That'll be good.
That'll do it.
FloridaManRadio.com. Watch the stream at You Have Power Radio on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. One more quick segment ahead. It is Florida Man Radio. I'm Justin Clark, 321-339-1055.
You're listening to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
Are you a business owner? First of all, thanks for listening. Hey, so if you want to find new customers, we can help on Orlando's newest radio station, WDYZ, Florida Man Radio, 105.5 and 660. Your ad could be featured right here in the morning with Bubba the Love Sponge, key placement middays in Dangerous Conversation with Ledge, or in prime PM Drive during the Shannon Burke Show. We can create a custom campaign based on your goals and budget. Drive store traffic, engage new clients, develop more leads, boost website activation, and get your cash register to ring with new business. Radio gets results, and JVC Broadcasting is at the ready to help you take your business to the next level. For more information on increasing your success, visit our website at floridamanradio.com and click on the Advertise tab. Drive store traffic, engage new clients, develop more leads, boost website activation, and get your cash register to ring with new business. Let us help you grow your business.
Reach out today. Unfiltered, unafraid. FloridaManRadio.com. Click on the Advertise tab. Do it now.
Honey, the power is out. Wait, never mind. It's back on. Wow, that was fast.
It's our new Generac generator from Trademark Electric. We don't have to do anything. The power goes out, our Generac generator detects the problem, then the Generac generator automatically turns on. And just like that, we have power.
Don't be left out in the dark. Call Trademark Electric today for your free estimate on their affordable Generac automatic standby generators. Residential or commercial. In-house financing is available. Call 352-629-8617.
Okay, so we need to make sure we're hurricane ready this season, right? Water, check. Batteries, check. What else am I missing?
Babe, we're missing our supplies from Premier Couples Superstore, and we need to stock up now.
Be sure to be storm ready and get to Premier Couples Superstore with the largest selection of novelty items, lingerie, bachelorette supplies, and much more. Premier Couples Superstore has what you want. Shop online at premiercouples.net. 5009 South Orange Blossom Trail, Orlando. Because a couple that plays together stays together.
Premier Couples Superstore takes you where you want to go.
Peace of mind. It's one of the most important things we have, and sometimes the most elusive. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. If you've been injured in a slip and fall accident, call me at 1-800-747-FREE.
Office in Orlando.
Looking for your next truck? Boomers is a must. Specializing in custom lifted gas and diesel 4x4s. Quality, affordable trucks for the working man. On Ronald Reagan Boulevard in Longwood or online at boomerstrucks.com.
Hi, I'm Susan, and I'm a school teacher, and my husband is a firefighter. One day, we got the worst call of our lives. Our son was in a serious accident. We heard Glenn Klausman and called him to help. Mr. Klausman genuinely cared about our son and fought multiple insurance companies to get us a great result. We could reach him 24/7 on his cell phone. Mr. Klausman was our guardian angel.
I'm Glenn Klausman. Contact me at klausmanlaw.com. That's KLAUSMAN law.com. Office, Winter Park.
Linda here from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oviedo on Mitchell Hammock Road, just east of Alafaya Trail, next to Chick-fil-A. Whether it's a job interview or a first date, Lady Jane's in Oviedo will make sure you look great for whatever's on your plate. Get a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, and hot towel treatment for just $14. Lady Jane's in Oviedo on Mitchell Hammock Road, just east of Alafaya Trail, next to Chick-fil-A, where we believe success favors the well-groomed. Lady Jane's in Oviedo. It's wicked awesome.
Call Pizza Hut now to pick up a large 3-topping pizza for just $7.99. Because the best place to pick up a pizza has pizza in the name. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Ask or click for offer. Additional charge for extra cheese, stuffed crust, pan, and extra toppings. Availability, prices, and participation vary, baby.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One of the most common and life-altering injuries that we see after a car crash is a herniated disc. Often it causes a lifetime of care, injections, and surgeries. A life where the most simple enjoyments become painful struggles. But insurance companies often refuse to pay for these injuries. They say disc herniation is no big deal, but we know the truth. We know how life-altering a disc herniation can be. We've won millions of dollars for clients with disc herniation because we know how devastating these injuries really are. If you have a herniated disc after a car crash, call us. You can reach us by dialing #law on your cell phone. That's #529. #law, that's all. It's easy to remember and even easier to get in touch with us. If you're injured in a car crash or at work, call us. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Offices, Orlando.
AC problems getting you down? Four Seasons Air Conditioning has been keeping Florida comfortable since 1953. 407-295-9231. Four Seasons Air Conditioning, the company you wish you called first. That's 407-295-9231. Or visit 4acnow.com. CAC 056308. This is Sergeant Slayer. Attend. Today's orders are to go to WeKillFloridaBugs.com. Say it again. WeKillFloridaBugs.com.
WeKillFloridaBugs.com is home of Mighty Tech Pest Management. Get in touch with Mighty Tech today for residential and commercial pest control, termites, wildlife exclusion, and removal. And if mosquitoes are a problem, ask Mighty Tech about them as well. Call for a free evaluation today. 1-888-750-7378.
Say it again. WeKillFloridaBugs.com. Dismissed.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Now, back to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
Back with you, Justin Clark on Florida Man Radio. Briana works a 4-day week. It's a weekend starting for you, Briana. What do you have going on? What do you got to promote?
We have a family reunion, actually, in Georgia.
Whoa, disgusting.
Yeah. My dad's from Georgia, small town.
So what are you going to do to get out of that?
Can't.
What kind of illness?
Something's coming on.
Yeah, you look a little pale.
I feel a little pale.
Wait a minute.
So you're really going?
Whoa, Mick, what you trying to say?
Are you really going?
You know what I'm trying to say.
Where is this?
It's in Georgia.
Like what part?
It's in Thomaston, Georgia. So Thomaston, Macon.
Thomasville?
Nope, Thomaston.
I don't know if you're right. There's a Thomasville.
Macon, and Griffin. They're very small towns, but that's where my dad's family's from. So
they grow peanuts up there, don't they?
Yeah, the pecans are up there.
Oh, yeah. Mick Dolan, how do I find you on Twitter, social media? How do we find you?
MDOLANORLA.
Did I ever tell you? Well, I'm going to save that for tomorrow. I'm going to tell you about who tried to steal this show from us. I'll tell you tomorrow. I won't mention names, but it's a great story. Are you on Twitter? Is that your Twitter thing?
Yeah.
All right. What other social media do you do?
I'm Facebook.
The whole
Instagram. You're on Instagram.
Right.
Eric Stacy, what do you got going on, buddy?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's gonna be nice because I work a day job and then I work here and then I'm gonna spend the weekend doing nothing.
He's just gonna work his butt off.
How do we follow you on Twitter, social media?
I think I still have a Twitter up and running. I believe it's still EZ on air.
EZ on air. You can check out Eric Stacy right there. And tune in every single weeknight for us. It's You Have Power Radio from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 p.m. right here on Florida Man Radio. Bubba the Love Sponges in the morning from 6 to 10. Dangerous Conversations with Scott Ledge, along with Rock Dog Mick. Is that what they call you?
That's what.
That's
one of many
Rock
things they call
Dog
me.
Mick. And we follow my good friend Shando on the Shannon Burke Show from 2 to 6 p.m. What a station, guys.
Yes.
What do you think? How we doing?
Love it.
Almost 1 week in the book of Florida Man Radio, and I don't know much, but I do know one little tiny thing.
What's that?
I will see you right back here on a Friday night tomorrow on Florida Man Radio.
Got it.
It's a